Portland, Deering, South Portland, Waynflete, Beacons, and your Brunswick Dragons. The Rally Athletic Conference, along with Brunswick High School, requests that all people in attendance at today's game abide by the principles of good sportsmanship. The athletes on the ice will be giving their best efforts. We ask that you give your positive support. Help make today's game enjoyable for everyone in attendance, especially if you are around you. At this time, we would like to introduce the starting lineups. First, the Beacons.
Waiting for another day in the booth.
At defense, number 5, Annabelle Rice. At defense, number 10, Alexis Turner. At forward, number 3, Eloise Hackett. At center, number 9, Michaela. And at wing, number 12, Sarah Finn. And in the Orange Beacons, number 31, Maya Clark. The head coach of the Beacons is Bob Mills. And now, the starting lineup for your Brunswick Dragons. At defense is senior number 3, Quinn McCormick. At defense is senior number 18, Sydney Perrin. At center, number 6, the senior captain, Natalie Perrin. At left wing, a senior captain, number 17, Jillian Outway. And at right wing, a sophomore, number 4, Sitlali Savindra. And in goal today for the Dragons, number 30, Hensley LeBlanc. The head coach of the Dragons is Chris Ledman. We'd like to remind fans, coaches, and players that all our sports around our state are native officials. We expect our officials to be treated with respect by everyone in attendance, as they have given their time tonight to ensure our players can play. Thank you for your cooperation and support. The Brunswick Dragons girls ice hockey team would like to thank today's presenting sponsor, Bill Dodge Auto Group. You can find Bill Dodge Auto Group and all of the other local businesses that are sponsoring the team in our program booklet. Pick up a copy today at the snack shack when you stop by. All proceeds will go directly to the team. Now, would you please all stand and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem by the Brunswick High School Choir.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Bowdoin College here at Sidney J. Watson Arena for a Saturday matinee between the Brunswick Dragons and the Portland Beacons. Of course, Portland has, it's called the Portland Co-op, but they do not have a single player on Portland. This Beacons team has 7 girls from Cape Elizabeth, 4 from South Portland, 2 from Deering, and 3 from Waynflete. But of course, again, it's only one school in Brunswick, guys.
Yeah, the one-team machine is what we're called, the Brunswick Girls Dragons Ice Hockey Program. Very excited to be here today, Robert. Thinking the Dragons can pull out a win, but only time will tell.
Yeah, these are 2 evenly matched teams. Kaz Brunswick is 2-2 and is ranked number 3 in Class A, well, there's only one class, but number 3 in A North. And Portland is 3rd place. Actually, I think they're 4th place in the South. And they are also 2-2. So 2-2 teams. They both beat Lewiston by a wide margin. Brunswick beat them 7-0 on Wednesday, and Portland, and about their second game of the season, beat them 7-1. So pretty evenly matched. A couple of teams here, Kaz.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams sitting at 2-2 so far. Winner will walk out of here with a winning record, and the loser, the opposite. So I think both teams got a lot to fight for today.
Robert Bowen and Kosinski on the microphone, Brandon Ware on the camera, and Asher Foushée on the scoreboard, sponsored by the Singer Domingos Group of Portside Real Estate.
Yes, thank you very much to Singer Domingos for sponsoring us and purchasing Sports Cam for us, so we were able to bring you guys a scoreboard at home.
Solveig Ledwick once again does not start the game on the ice, but I'm sure that you will see her very soon. She scored 5 goals in that win over Lewiston on Wednesday. Hackett will take over for the Beacons. Brunswick gets it right back, though, with Natalie Parham in the corner. Taken away now by Turner. Turner off the boards. Sydney Parham will keep it in the zone. Puck rims around the boards. Will be taken over by Turner there. Kept in the zone by McCormick. And now Price. Parham gets it back. Will fire it just wide left of the net, and the Dragons get a change. Flynn and Livesey come on. Turner will have it swatted away.
A bit of a change here with the Dragons today. Delia Vital is not on the roster nor on the bench. She's been an impact player recently, but is not here today. Possible injury, possible just out for the count.
Here is Jerome on the back wall as it's taken away by Turner. Turner there to Hackett. Hackett leaves it off for Furt. Furt up ice, and a 2-on-1 with Ledwick in the middle. Furt will look to fire and miss wide left. Furt, that being Michaela Furt, leads the Beacons in goals with 6 on the season, as well as 4 assists.
Robert, you want to go ahead and tell me who else leads the Portland Beacons in goals and assists, being number 2 and number 3, and what classes they are in?
Yeah, that is Sarah Finn, being 12 in gray, and number 3, Eloise Hackett, also in gray. Hackett and Finn Hackett's a freshman and Furt is also a freshman, as well as Finn being a sophomore. So the 3 top scorers are all underclassmen for the Beacons.
I mean, that's going to be a great program in years to come if that holds up.
Countway and Parham come back on, as well as Estrada as well as Sabreda for the Dragons. Here's Ledwick into the slot. We'll give it up to Countway. Countway there to Ledwick. Ledwick will put that one wide. McCormick will collect. Look down the middle there to Countway. And here's a shot just wide left by Parham. Down the middle, here's Countway. Couldn't get the shot off. McCormick will come away with it, fire that one. It'll be saved by Clark, and she'll freeze it.
Yeah, we're going to see an offensive zone face-off here for the Dragons in a sec. On the ice now is Parham, McCormick, Saavedra. Is that another Parham, and then Countway as well?
Yeah, Parham and McCormick, the defensive pairing. That first defensive pairing today. Countway will knock Turner down. Parham knocks it off the back wall. Saavedra. Livesey skating after it. Race will be won, though, by Furt. Michaela Furt into the zone will fire that one wide across the crease. Hackett will dump it back down. Furt takes back over, once again leading scorer for the Beacons. Kept in the zone by Turner. Turner knocks it back along the back wall. Furt liking that behind the net spot. Will look to round. Tries to backhand. It's knocked away by Parham. Parham. And now Livesey looks to get it back. Furt still fighting with Parham along that back wall. Livesey will look to help, and McCormick will knock it off the glass, and that should go 200 feet, but they wave off the icing. It was deflected by someone. Jerome now fighting. So we go from pinned up against one back wall to the other Cats.
Yeah, I don't know why there was no icing call there. Is there some rule with deflecting off the boards?
If it gets deflected by a player, then it is no icing. But I guess the officials saw it get deflected by someone. I trust them. Ledwick with some space and some speed. Through the neutral zone into the offensive end she goes. Will fire this one wide as Countway will knock down another beacon. That was Schauf who was knocked down. Good bit of skating by Anna Chang as she'll win that race. And now Countway will collide. Here is Donahue. Donahue's going to have to fill that void left by Delia Vitalicas.
Dragons with their third shutout through the first 5 minutes of the game this year. That's good.
Here is Countway down the middle. That one's deflected and goes to the back of the net. I believe it hit off the skate of Saavedra, and the Dragons take a 1-0 lead. I think Countway will be credited with the goal, though. She centered it, and it winds up in the back of the net.
Big start for the Dragons. Scoring within the first 5 minutes of the game is a huge tone setter. Dragons 2-2, looking to really pull out a win tonight and be huge. And there's no better way to start than that, Robert.
Yeah, Kaz, I'm trying to figure out how this puck went in the back of the net. I can really not tell. Countway did shoot it from behind the goal line, and it goes in. Maybe some sort of telekinesis.
That's the only thing that would check out, you know. Just mental power, just moving the puck with your mind. Although that has been, you know, claimed to not be possible by all sorts of scientists, I really don't believe them, if we're being quite frank.
That's Countway's second goal of the season. Dragons up 1-0 once again. I won't have to remind you of the score thanks to our scoreboard operated by Ashley Foushée and sponsored by Singer Domingo Portside Realty. Here is Turner in the neutral zone. Will backhand it there, Countway. And now taken away by Furt. Furt will fire that one wide.
Countway unassisted at 4:36 in the first period. Again, that's Countway unassisted at 4:36 in the first period.
McCormick now back here to Parham. Parham off the boards, kept in the zone by Werner.
Did I just hear the Ethan Patterson come over the loudspeaker and announce that that was an unassisted goal?
I do believe we did. Ethan Patterson, captain of Brunswick Boys Ice Hockey, who won their first game of the season last night. They're now 1-0 after beating Greeley 5-2. Patterson had 2 goals in that win, and now he is in the PA announcing box. Of course, the co-president of Brunswick High Sports Network as well. Renaissance man, Cats.
Truly. I mean, you don't often see men like Ethan Patterson. He's one of the best to ever do anything. Probably. We're not entirely sure.
Of course, a great soccer player as well. I think he's also a good track runner. Should be playing lacrosse, I would say, but whatever. With the puck now is Haley Field. Ledwick will collect. Bank it off the wall. And that one will be frozen by Levante. I believe that's the first time we've said her name. First shot on goal for the Beacon.
And that's a solid start from the Dragons defensively. We are roughly 7 minutes in here. And that is the first time we've seen Portland get anything on frame. So it's good to keep up that trend.
Coach Ledwick will send on that second line of forwards of Livesey, Flynn, and Jerome. Ledwick appears to be playing defense today without Vital in the lineup.
Yeah, then once again, we do not have any idea where Vital is. I mean, it could be something routine, probably nothing to be worried about, and we're hoping to see her back here next game.
Donahue will give it to Ledwick. Ledwick up ice. Flynn will settle it off her skate, off the wall, and fed down by Price. Ledwick gets it back, though. Picked off, and Levante will stop it and freeze once again. They'll send back on Saavedra, Harum, and Countway, as well as Ledwick will stay on with McCormick. So no really defined defensive pairings, just That'll be a rotation between Donahue, Ledwick, McCormick, and Sidney Parham, I do believe, Kaz.
I do believe, Robert. That does sound right.
Turner will rocket that one, deflected off the blade of McCormick's stick. Turner once again towards the net, stopped by the skate of Ledwick. And now Saavedra up ice. Nice backhand pass to Natalie Parham. Parham into the zone. Tries to get around the official, and Turner does. Turner takes it away though. She'll cut back, find Hackett. Hackett across, and a chance now for Furt. Michaela Furt has it taken away by Sidney Parham. Good defensive play to get back there and stop that Beacon rush. Shots on goal tied at 2 right now.
Shots on goal tied at 2 right now. Robert Bowen, 2025. Correct.
But do we really know if it's Ethan Patterson and I believe that's Carter Copeland also in the box counting those stats? Do we trust their shots on goal count? I do, personally.
You know what? Those are both big hockey guys. I think that they could thoroughly analyze whether a shot is a shot on goal or not. So, yeah, I would say so.
So, yes, 2-on-2, 2-2 shots on goal. Beacons into the zone, and we'll get an offside call. Neutral zone face-off. Upcoming. Still that second line of forwards, Flynn, Livesey, and Jerome, as well as Ledwick and Parham on defense right now. Ledwick off the wall, too far for Flynn. Chang will fire it wide. Enters the neutral zone. Turner pressured by Jerome. Turner, nice piece of skating into the zone she goes. Gets by the poke check of Parham and sends it wide. Flynn, the cut back now up for Ledwick with speed. Into neutral zone, knocked away by Fields. And that'll be an icing. They'll send back on Parham, Countway, and Saavedra.
Once again, we'll give a huge shout out to Brandon Ware, camera operator today. He's a real trooper. He's always out here with us. And we'll give one final shout out to Asher Foushée.
It will not be the final shout.
It won't be, but it'll be a shout out. Shout out to Asher Foushée for working the scoreboard. Crucial stuff.
Countway into the offensive zone will be knocked down by a few Beacons, and that'll be an offside.
Flag on the play. I think we're going to see a tripping call. 10-yard penalty? Maybe not.
I don't believe so. I think that whistle was just for... I gotta love how the official raises his hand in the exact same manner, whether it's offside or a penalty, so you never really know until he calls it.
And once he has called it, we sometimes still don't know. That's part of the mystery.
McCormick will poke at it. Now Countway gets it back, already with a goal. Hackett will pass it to herself, and odd man rush for the Beacons, but she could not find either of her teammates who were open in the middle, that being Furt and Finn.
I hope the Dragons win by a lot.
Furt towards the net, blocked by the skate of Marino. That shot was just wide. Beacons collect in the neutral zone. Furt will take it in. Pass it back to Turner.
Now, so far, this game has seemed quite balanced, I'll say. And that does check out as the Brunswick Dragons recently beat the Lewiston Blue Devils 7-0. And the Portland Beacons won 7-1. So both teams exerting some dominance over Lewiston. And we're gonna see who's truly the better Lewiston beater today.
Dragons sub on CC Smith, as well as Marino staying out there, and Missoula Long. Really seems like they're running 3 forward lines today, Kaz, as opposed to in the past when they run a out too.
Yeah, I think we are definitely seeing some players getting ice time today who we haven't seen as much of this season, and I think that's good for the Dragons. Space out the leg exhaustion a little bit, and you'll have players playing at a higher level.
Here is Smith in the zone. Knocked back, collected by McCormick. McCormick will loft that one towards the net and knocked aside by Clark. Parham will look to steal it from Price. Beacons get it back though. CC Smith racing after it. She'll be knocked down. Here's Finn rounding the net.
So Robert, the ref just gave us a little T-pose at about mid-ice. What does that mean for folks at home?
I think he is saying that there is no offside. If it's somewhat close, they'll do the same thing for an icing. If the puck goes down the whole ice, but it was not an icing, he'll clear up confusion by waving his arms like that and saying, no icing.
Wonderful. That's great information to have.
Same thing with offside. Here is Finn. Looking down the middle, she'll get it back. Sarah Finn. Shot is wide. Smith will sub off for Countway. As you see there, Kaz, when they're subbing like that and the puck is far away, the official gives a little bit of leeway. For a solid 3 seconds there, the Dragons had 6 skaters on the ice, which is, of course, illegal, but if the puck's far away from the play, they'll just let it go. So that's why the too many men penalty happens whenever the puck is near the bench.
Absolutely, and we have, Robert, a couple times this season seen the puck be far away, teams trying to make a sub, and all of a sudden the puck's on their bench, and they're caught with their pants down, and it's 6 players on the ice foul.
Ledwick will look to clear Livesey. Back to Countway. Countway into the zone, surrounded by 3 Beacons. She'll wind up fire. That one is deflected into the netting.
That one, I mean, that would hit some terminal velocity there. That puck was high up. Is thankful. We'll go ahead and give a shout out to the net behind the goals of each side, so the puck does not go flying into the stands and hit anybody.
Livesey on the face-off. Beacons get it back. That is Chang fighting for it. And she will clear into the neutral zone. Ledwick collects, though, for Brunswick. Of course, folks, as we mentioned earlier, do not be fooled by the Portland that is listed on your scoreboard, of course. Run by Ash Foushée, sponsored by Portside Realty. That Portland co-op does not feature a single player from Portland. Instead, they have 7 Cape Elizabeth players, 4 South Portland, 2 from Deering, and 3 from Waynflete. So Portland is the central location, but really Beacons would be a more fitting name than Portland, I would say.
Absolutely.
I'm still going to say Portland, though.
As will I, and I think it's just because it's the name of the team, but really they should try to get some Portland players out here. I mean, at least one.
I think in the past they did have Portland girls hockey players, but just not this year. That's my take of the whole thing. Last 30 seconds here of the period. I believe that should be an icing, and it will be. I believe in the NHL that would not be an icing because the Beacons won the race to the puck. I do not believe that would be icing in the NHL, but in high school it is.
Yeah, I find it interesting how much different the rules are in the big leagues. I wish they just had them all the same at all levels.
You wish they were fighting in this game?
I do. I mean, I don't wish violence on anyone, but I think if it's allowed in the pros, why not allow it here? Like, it's part of the sport.
Okay. Thank you. You wish they played 82 games?
I don't really have a great answer. I haven't really thought much about that. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but...
That'll do it for our first period of action. The official's whistle sounded before the buzz from the Jumbotron. How does that reflect on Patterson and Copeland in the box?
The buzz was delayed. The board ran out probably 5 seconds ago, and Patterson he didn't get the buzzer off quite in time.
Well, a good first period of action here. Julian Countway with the lone goal, and the Dragons will take a 1-0 lead into the locker room. We'll mute this stream. Well, I'm pretty sure they're girls hockey did change the rules so that there is a Zamboni between both the first and second period as well as the second and third. That's a new rule this year. Previously, it was only between the second and third that they would clean the ice. So Ethan Patterson, I guess, forgot about that, threw up a 3-minute timer onto the Jumbotron, but now he's reset it to 12 minutes, so we'll mute the stream for that time and get you right back here for more girls hockey action here on this Saturday. Should we interview Ryan Livesey now that he's standing here or no?
Yeah, we're going to do a quick Ryan Livesey interview. Ryan, 2 weekends ago, you conceded 14 goals. What do you have to say for yourself?
Let's just all forget about it and focus on the next game.
How do you feel about Michael Shoemaker's performance last night for the Brunswick boys team?
Someone said it, but he might be the best goalie in the world. Definitely in the state. Probably the whole world, though.
Well, thank you, Ryan, and we'll get you right back here in 11 minutes on BHSN.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second period of ice hockey here today for the Brunswick Girls Dragons versus the Portland Beacons at Sidney J. Watson Arena. Dragons currently leading 1-0 with a goal scored by Jillian Countway early in the first period. We remain here with Robert Bowen. Robert, how are we feeling about the second period?
Yeah, Kaz, not a ton of action in the first period. Only 7 total shots on goal between the two teams. So looking for some more, hopefully, action here in the second.
Absolutely. Dragons come out with both parums, Countway, McCormack, and Flynn. That's how they choose to start. All right, and that puck is sent around the back by number 3, Elise Hackett of Portland. Now up at top here is number 4, Delaney Werner, and she'll scuffle with Jillian Countway a little bit there. Shot on, won't go. Hensley Labonte of the Dragons sends that one back out. And there's a couple Beacons down, but it is going to be Werner back with the puck, who turns it right over to Flynn. Sends it down the ice, but it is scooped up at the back by number 12, Sarah Finn. Are we going to see an icing call here? We will see an icing.
Yes, I think we will.
We do see an icing call there. We'll see an offensive zone face-off for the Dragons. Dragons putting on Jerome and Saavedra along with Lauren Livesey and Solveig Ledwig now. McCormack remains on the ice. Face-off will be taken between number 12, Sarah Finn, and number 7, Lauren Livesey. Puck centralized. Livesey can't get a good hold on it. Ooh. Maya Clark with a little bit of a misstep there at the back. We'll say Quinn McCormack scooped this up. Looks to go long. Hits number 8, Anna Chang, on the side there. That's got to hurt if there's no padding there. Saavedra will send it down. And number 10 is going to come up with that one. That'll be Alexis Turner of the Beacons. Pass broken up by Solveig Ledwig, and it's Natalie Parham the first to it. Up to Chloe Flynn, who can't get a good hold on it. And that was KK Mosunik, who sent it down. Countway centralizes it, to Natalie Parham, who cannot possess. And now it will be number 10, Alexis Turner, once again, to send it down the ice. We will get an icing call. Robert, how are we feeling?
Yeah, pretty even first couple minutes here. Of course, you know it's the first couple minutes. Feels, I'm gonna keep saying it. Feels so good to not have to tell you guys what the time is. Thanks to Asher Foushée on the scoreboard and our sponsorship from Singer Domingo's Portside Real Estate Group.
Absolutely, Robert. The scoreboard is a huge piece of our setup now. That was Parham looking to shoot there, but it'll be a little wide. She'll now battle it out with number 5, Annabelle Price.
Excellent new feature of that scoreboard is a new power play indicator, but haven't had to use that so far. Clean game so far, no penalties by either team.
Yeah, and that's something that we have not seen too much from the Dragons this year. They have been kind of penalty central. Sydney Parham leading the lines there with 5 penalties on the year. Jillian Countway and Natalie Parham in second and third. All right, here come the Beacons the other way, led by Michaela Furt, who looks to shoot, will be around the back of the net. And Alexis Turner's the first to it on the other side. She possesses, is pressured by Flynn, and she will also just send it around the back, which seems to be a common move here. Sydney Parham first to. Up to Saavedra. And Alexis Turner possessed again there, and nothing came of it. Number 8, Anna Chang turns that over. Lauren Livesey now fighting against Anna Valdemanis. Solveig Ledwig up the ice to Saavedra. Saavedra couldn't hang on to that one, as it'll be Alexis Turner to fight it out. No clear possession here, Robert. This is a bit jumbled up, if you will.
Yeah, neither team has really had a single settled offensive possession in this period, Tess.
Yes.
Only 1 shot on goal apiece.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the dream start for either team, but here come the Beacons. And that was Haley Field on the cross, but nothing came of it. And now Ira Jerome is going to send it out of the zone. Dragons will be able to get a switch here. Dragons, big line switch.
Yeah, wholesale change there.
Yeah. I guess it's almost like discount shopping when the puck is on the other side of the ice. You might as well just buy everything. And we will see Solveig Ledwick cleaning it up nicely on the other side here. Although that is Mosunik pressuring. Ledwick coming flying in now. Looks to shoot, won't get it as it falls off her stick. Countway centralizes to Flynn, who couldn't quite finish it. It will be pushed out of the zone. Dragons will have to reset.
Yeah, Kaz, I mentioned Solveig Ledwick had 5 goals against Lewiston. Fun fact about those 5 goals, all 5 were unassisted. So those plays where she skates up the ice all herself and fires one, Dragons' main source of offense.
That is both a good and a bad thing for the Dragons. It shows that, you have a dominant force on the team like Solveig Ledwick, who we've said before has been moving like prime Michael Jordan. But it also says that there's not that much passing going on in the offense, which I'm sure is something that Chris Ledwick has had them address in practice. Now Livesey and Alexis Turner going for a 50-50 puck here. Turner just smacks it around the ice, and that'll be out to Eloise Hackett. 2-on-1 now for the Beacons. Sarah Finn in the middle, and Michaela Furt on the outside. Out to Alexis Turner, but the pass doesn't quite get there as it's Missoula Long to intercept it. And Missoula and Ira double-teaming this player now. That would be Michaela Furt getting double-teamed. Ledwick gets them some breathing room, and that one is on frame, actually. So there will not be an icing call. Let's see if young genius Ethan Patterson will put that as a shot on goal, and he will.
Yeah, that's a pretty great play there by Solveig. When you think about, you want to clear the puck like that in order to get a change on, be able to get some fresh legs out there. But usually if you send it the whole length of the ice, that's why the icing rule is a thing, so then you can't do that. It's a whistle. You have a defensive zone face-off. But if you can somehow put that long shot on net, you avoid the icing, but still can get a change. That is a great play. Ethan Patterson does that a lot for the boys as well.
As a matter of fact, Ethan Patterson yesterday scored one from behind his own net, something you don't see all that often. Now, some more commotion in the middle, and Haley Field of the Beacons will come out with it. She will not be able to retain it for too long. It's Alexis Turner, the first two. Countway, good pressure though, forcing Delaney Werner to take it all the way back to her own end, try and set something up. She'll send it around. That'll be number 14, Danny Schauf, first two, but Saavedra's gonna pull that one from the masses, and Maya Clark will freeze it. Offensive zone faceoff coming next for your Dragons.
Yeah, Kaz, as I mentioned earlier, Dragons running 3 forward lines today as opposed to the usual 2. Definitely Chris Ledwick trying to keep his skaters fresher.
Absolutely. Ryan Livesey has just left us some popcorn.
Ryan Livesey is a great goalie. He is one of the best to ever do it. Ryan Livesey, great attackman in lacrosse as well. Really just one of my favorite people.
Absolutely. And we do see Ryan Livesey's twin sister out here today, Lauren Livesey, number 7. She's not on the ice right now, but she has been playing minutes. Big save from Labonte, is right in the center of the chest pad there, but she's able to position herself well enough to bat it down. Ledwick looks to shoot, but that will be deflected by, I believe that is number 5, Annabelle Price, that got on the deflection. Countway comes out with it. Fights through Michaela Furt's attempted tackle. Now there is definitely some confusion. And here come the Beacons the other way. Clean 3-on-3 now. Beacons bringing in Furt, Finn, and Price, or Hackett, sorry. Out to Turner, who looks to shoot. Won't go. Thankfully, Long is the first to it. Lauren Livesey now will not be able to get it out of the zone. Dragons will need to stay on. Beacons making some changes. Dragons might have a chance here to clear it. And they don't. That is going to hurt the Dragons as they now are unable to get fresh legs on, and the Beacons are. But Ledwick is going to send it long. Dragons will be able to get a change. We will see an icing call here.
Yeah, she tried to do that same thing that I mentioned just a moment ago, except just missed the net by a few feet. So it is an icing and a defensive zone faceoff. As I mentioned, not much settled offense by either team in this period, so Beacons now get an opportunity to do just that.
Absolutely, Robert. Back out to, ooh, shot on by Annabelle Price. Won't go, though. Parham now sends it long, and we will see another icing call.
Yeah, the more icings equal the more offensive zone.
Robert Bowen been attacked by some illness there.
There's a piece of the popcorn delivered by Ryan Livesey. More icings equal more offensive zone time for your opponent. Obviously.
So no bueno defensively. If you can avoid it, try to. Chloe Flynn now first to it, and she's pressured quickly by Louise Hackett, and she is sent into the boards. Now, checking is illegal in high school girls hockey.
Yep, delayed penalty catch.
And, yeah, the ref is going to do something. Do something, sir. And he will.
It's going to be a cross-check on 23. No, just 3 in gray. That's Hackett. And thank you, Asher, throwing the power play up on the scoreboard for our first penalty of the day.
Asher's a wonderful young man.
Kaz, is someone sponsoring our scoreboard? I can't remember.
I think so. I think it's Singer Domingos Realty with Portside, located in the Brunswick area, but selling real estate all over the state. Contact them if you need a house.
I will.
Very good, Robert. Bigger crew of spectators walking in now. We're going to have to interview them when they come by. I believe it is Brunswick Freeport boys ice hockey players.
Yeah, I think that's the JV team who will have a JV game right after this, starting at about 2:15. That will be streamed on Brunswick High Sports Network. Do not believe we'll have commentators, but
now, Robert, while we were going over that, Solveig Ledwick and Michaela Furt were in a one-on-one race to the net there. Furt ended up winning and got a shot on, but Labonte was able to shut it down, and now the Dragons exist in the other end of the field. Ice, sorry. Countway around the back of the net. Delayed penalty. And we're going to see
It's a high stick.
high stick, and that will be another beacon going to the penalty box. We're going to see 5-on-3 action from the Dragons here.
Yeah, that's Delaney Warner into the box. Asher, I would say throw 2 minutes back up there, because the Dragons are going to have power play for the whole 2 minutes, and then it's going to be 1 minute and 7 seconds of 5-on-3, folks.
So, despite the power play on your screen only saying 2 minutes, it is more than one power play, but you don't have a way to display that.
Yeah, so teams get 1 timeout per game, and a 5-on-3 is 3 is the lowest amount of skaters you can have on the ice, so there's literally no better scoring opportunity than a 5-on-3. Chris Ledwick really wants to make sure that he can get a goal here, so he wants to talk it over with his team, get a plan, get a play, and put one in the back of the net.
Robert, what happens if you have 3 players on the ice and you commit another penalty?
So what will happen is that third player will go to the box, and then they just will not start the timer for that penalty until one of that first 2 penalties is released.
Oh, I see. So there will never be 2 skaters on the ice.
No. There is a minimum amount of players. Of course, in basketball, you could have your whole team ejected and play with 2 players. Is that right?
That is not right.
Oh, what? I swear that happened, no?
That did not happen. You must have 5 players on the court at all times. There have been scenarios where everybody's fouled out. You have 5 players left. One of them fouls out, and you're allowed to bring back one of your previously fouled out players.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I've seen teams playing with 4-3 in basketball. Are you sure? Asher, want to weigh in?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Kaz, are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure of this rule, Robert.
We're going to be looking this up at the period break at any level of basketball. High school, college, NBA. That has never happened.
I'm certain it's never happened in the NBA or college. High school, it's a different beast, man. I mean, it's possible.
Oh, okay, so you're saying it's possible now.
I can see Clark and his boys out there with 4 players, but you never know. Wow! Solveig almost rips one into the top corner. Asher, what do you think of that shot?
That was one of the closest shots of the game. What a great stop from 31.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Maya Clark on the save there. Ledwick now with the puck again. Shoots another one. That is right into the gut of a Portland player. Another one. Gosh. I mean, at some point you'd think you should guard Solveig, but...
A beautiful snipe by Sydney Parham, and it's 2-0, Brunswick.
Robert, I'll be honest, I missed that goal somehow. The iPad of Beware was in the way. But
Yeah, she fired that one, beating Clark on her glove side, just snuck it inside that far pipe.
you heard it here first, folks. Dragons lead 2-0 now. Goals from Jillian Countway and Sydney Parham. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Brunswick Girls Hockey, at the end of every game, hosts a player of the game, hard hat player of the game. Sydney Parham was that last time, and according to Sydney herself, you cannot be player of the game twice because the previous player of the game chooses the next one. Which means that despite Sydney scoring and playing a strong defensive game so far, she cannot choose herself to be next player of the game. So, Robert, who do you think the player of the game will be?
Oh, I'd have to give it to Countway at the moment here. She scored the first goal. Labonte in net has 9 saves, so she could be another candidate.
Absolutely, Robert. Both those names sound fair to me. And speaking of Countway, here we come the other way. And that'll be Natalie Parham to collect it. Dragons still up 1 player. 30 seconds left on the power play. Parham out wide. Finds Countway around the back. Oh, and here comes Michaela for 1-on-none the other way. Labonte will shut it down.
Yeah, I do not love that shot by Burt. She is the leading goal scorer for the Beacons. I know that she knows how to score goals, but I would love to see a forehand, backhand, any type of shootout style move. Just shooting it from 5 yards away, I do not think is the right move there.
I agree, Robert. That could have been done a lot better. We've seen that before, though. Sometimes that 1-on-1 is one of the hardest shots.
The Dragons have had problems giving up shorthanded goals before. In that first preseason game against Biddeford, they gave up 2 shorthanded goals and nearly gave up 1 there.
Yeah, that's right, Robert. And now, I believe that is the Dragons' first power play goal of the season.
That would be second. They had 1 against Lewiston.
That's the second
they're
one.
2
My apologies.
2 for 11 now on the year in that category.
And that is going to be Saavedra, who spins out and loses her stick there. Collected by McCormack, who's flying down the ice the other way. And she'll just send one long. It won't be an icing call because she was in the offensive zone. And she'll get a switch.
Ledwick will sub back on for the Dragons.
And Ledwick already collecting the puck again. Cuts in, cuts out, cuts in again. Ledwick fires off the stick and it won't go. That's Saavedra, the first one to pressure that. Around the back, and number 5, Delaney Werner will clean that up. Sorry, Annabelle Price. Solveig looks to put one on net. Maya Clark will get her pads down in time to block that one. Now we're going to see it was a 2-on-1. Now it's a 3-on-2. Parham and Solveig defending. Frozen by Labonte. We're going to see an offensive zone face-off here for the Dragons. Sorry, for the Beacons. Beacons looking to shoot. That was number 12, Sarah Finn. Which sounds like one word, Robert, doesn't it?
Seraphim. Seraphim is a type of angel found in the Bible. Seraphim, of course, is one of the ranks of angels. So seraphim sounds like seraphim.
Ah. I think it's also a drug of some sort, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so, Kaz. No.
We're going to Google this on Robert's laptop real quick. Serafina is an Italian dining restaurant in New York City. My apologies,
Spurred
folks.
into the zone, a 2-on-none for the Beacons, and that one rang off the crossbar and wide, but a golden chance. Now another one as that is Countway knocking down Sarah Finn, as we mentioned, and Countway will go to the box for that. I believe it'll just be a normal checking penalty as Countway. They call it interference.
Now,
Countway kind of used to that penalty box.
I was going to say, Countway is getting familiar with the penalty box this season. I believe that's her third penalty of the season, Robert?
That's right.
Third penalty of the season for Countway. So she's not quite the team leader, but she does now tie Natalie Parham in team penalties, and they both trail Sydney Parham with 5. And we'll get an offensive zone face-off here for the Beacons. 1, back out to Alexis Turner. Alexis Turner has been playing heavy minutes today, Robert. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I don't think I've seen her sub off yet.
Yeah, well.
Turner cuts in, looks to shoot. Doesn't quite get the angle to do it. And it'll be sent back to her quickly. That was coming from Price. Turner to goal. That shot was coming from Sarah Finn and was goal side saved by Hensley Labontaine. No icing call here, as there is a power play advantage for the Beacons.
Kaz, how do our viewers know that there's a power play?
Well, Robert, I believe we have a scoreboard now that can actually show a power play. I mean, how awesome is that?
How do we get that? And who's running it?
I'm pretty sure we got it via the Singer Domingos Portside Real Estate Group, and operating it now today, the one and only Asher Foushée. Asher, thank you very much for all the great work you do. Shot on by Sarah Finn won't go. And it's Michaela Furt the first to it, arguing with Solveig Lidwig for the puck. Neither of them win. That's Saavedra on the back of Alexis Turner. Sarah Finn looks to shoot. Tries to get it to go. Doesn't want to seem to take the backhand shot. Won't go, and she'll collect the puck again on the other side. Once again, pressured by Saavedra. And that is the end of the second period. Score now 2-0 in favor of your Brunswick Dragons.
Yeah, Sydney Parham with the lone goal of the second period coming on the power play, and the Dragons will take a 2-0 lead into the locker room. We'll see you in, I think they did a 12-minute break. I always thought it was 15, but I guess it's 12. So we'll see you then, folks. Thank you for joining us.
I think we're going to do a quick Zamboni shout-out.
Zamboni shout-out. Oh, Kevin,
So,
what is a Zamboni?
I was going to ask you what a Zamboni was, Robert.
I see this mural right behind us here at the great Sidney J. Watson Arena, and this is an excerpt from the opening program on November 20th, 1956, and it describes a Zamboni as a Jeep with a superstructure will scrape the ice and sprinkle the surface with water so that in 7 minutes a fresh coating of ice is provided. Now let me break this down for you guys. So when you skate on ice, you're not actually skating on the ice, but what happens is the metal of your skate blade creates enough friction and enough heat that melts down the ice to create water, and it's that water that allows you to skate on the ice. That water will then condense into snow, and then that makes it very hard to skate.
Is that so, Robert? Robert, we have some people here from the student section that may want to do an interview. We have some people that like to say something.
We love girls hockey! Yeah!
All right, we have some avid supporters there. Truly make the program what it is. Thank you, folks. We will see you in 11 minutes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our third period of action here at Sidney J. Watson Arena between Portland and Brunswick. I think I closed the app on my phone that was doing remote scoring, so I just need to get that back up here. Kaz, do you want to just talk real quick?
All right. Welcome back to the start of the quarter here, everybody. Start of the period. My apologies, third period starting now. Penalty on Jillian Countway will release momentarily. I know we don't have that up on the scoreboard right now. And Countway is out of jail.
Yeah, the Dragons remain perfect on the penalty kill now, 14 for 14 this season.
Clearly, some good stuff going coaching-wise there. That's impressive. Being down one player for a total of 28 minutes and conceding 0 goals. Not bad from the Dragons. Portland still scoreless so far. Looking to make anything happen this period. That is going to be...
Have your phone?
Sorry, folks. We're having a small technical difficulty right now. Dragons get some changes. You know, I'm just going to do play-by-play until Robert figures this out. Alexis Turner now with the puck in her own half. Looks to send it up.
Pass across here, looking for Long. Will be collected by Price. Price off the boards. And now Long will send it back in, off the back wall. Collected here by Turner. Turner off the boards. Here's Price collecting. Oh, mine worked. I gotta re-sign in again. All right, take it back.
All right. We're going to turn to Asher for a second here. Asher, why don't you step up here? Give me your thoughts on the game so far.
The game's getting very more physical here as the Portland tries to get one back here. 12:31 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, we're just...
Thank you, Asher.
Just gonna turn off the clock. It's not a big deal. I can tell you guys how much time there is remaining. It's all right. Sorry, Asher, you did great for the first couple periods, but now you've been moved from scoreboard operator to rules analyst. So I'll come to you whenever I need some rules analysis. 11:55 remaining in our third period, and we'll get an icing. Hysteria by Def Leppard is the song of choice by Ethan Patterson. I'd say he's doing a pretty good job with the music.
I would say so. The kid's got good taste.
Parham, Countway, and Savreda, that first line of forwards, are on for the Dragons. $11:40 to go in our third period.
Sorry, folks at home. Our sports cam has crashed in terms of login.
That's just remote scoring that we're talking about here. There's still Beware's iPad's working just fine. Just Kaz and I can't get in on our phones to do the remote scoring, so that's why we can't work on do the clock. But the score is correct, so you can trust that. Still, even with such small technical difficulties, still very happy with our scoreboard sponsored by Singer Domingo's Portside Real Estate. Here comes Turner up the ice into the zone, and an odd man rush for the Beacons. That shot over the net by Turner. Shots just have really not been falling for the Beacons today. They have 15 on net through 2 periods. Ledwick with speed into the offensive zone. She'll wind up, fire that one wide. Ledwick racing after her own rebound. Still waiting for some help. Flynn enters the zone now. Ledwick will survey. Will look to round the wraparound. That part of the net was open. Long whiffed on the next shot, and Flynn could not put it on net. It's very close to finishing that wraparound there.
Yeah, that looked a bit like a Michigan to me. I know that's not exactly what that was.
No, really not.
But it's the same concept for those of you who watch hockey primarily off of Instagram Reels. The wraparound concept is a fun one to see.
Here's Livesey in the neutral zone. Will backhand it up to Flynn. Flynn off the boards here, 10-10 remaining in our third period. Of course, according to the Jumbotron operated by Carter Copeland and Ethan Patterson, it is still the second period, but they are incorrect. Thankfully, Asher made sure to reset it to the third. Maybe Asher should get bumped up to that scoreboard role in the box now that this is broken. And also, he's just doing a better job than Carter and Ethan, I'm sorry to say.
Asher's
Good
known,
thing Carter and Ethan are good at hockey. 5-2 win last night over Greeley.
Asher's known to operate at a high level. That's a key trait about him and his personality. You know, he's elite.
Knocked down there by Werner. Here is Parham up to Countway. Oh, they fixed it. Carter Copeland sets it to the third period. And we're okay.
About 9 minutes left for you folks. We're going to try and update you once in a while on how much time is left due to our scoreboard malfunction.
We've had much worse problems, though, so in the past. It's all right.
We've had live streams crash. We've had live streams not open. I mean, we've had all sorts of stuff. So if this is as bad as it gets today, we're in for a good day.
Why am I signed out on my phone? I never pressed log out. It's just crazy, guys. 8:40 to go in our third period. In the neutral zone, Countway will backhand it into the offensive zone. No icing. Here's Turner. She'll cut back behind Clark's net. Long along the boards. They'll give it back to Turner. Long will fall. Flynn knocks it. And Price up ice. Now rocketed towards the net by Ledwick. Flynn, though, she's open, cannot settle it. Now Donahue gets it towards the net, deflected by the blade of Turner. Livesey and Price fighting. Ledwick racing to keep in the zone, cannot, will reset and is pressured by Hackett. Hackett will nearly steal it away. Ledwick somehow will keep it, though, and now has space and speed into the zone with Long trailing. Ledwick will wind up and fire that one deflected into the netting. Countway is released. Kaz, I don't think I noticed Jillian Countway go into the box. I'm sorry. She is released, though. And that'll kill another penalty. Or was she? Oh, she was just coming off the board. Yeah. She was coming right from the side of the boards next to the penalty box. And, of course, Jillian Countway, a lot of penalties, so I just assumed. I'm sorry. Yeah, no penalty, still 5-on-5. You know, when I get distracted by the scoreboard, I just assume anything can happen, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, especially with anything. Oh, Countway on the goal now, though.
And rebound nearly went in for Natalie Parham. Back to Countway, she'll fire, and once again, just wide. McCormick will knock down Chang. Parham will collect in the defensive zone. Flynn will sub on for Brunswick. Countway in the neutral zone. Up to Flynn. Knocked away by Chang, and she'll steal it for the Beacons. McCormick. Ledwick will fall and stand back up. Knocked up the ice by Livesey, and that should be an icing, and it will. Another defensive zone face-off for Brunswick.
All right, 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go left here. Dragons lead 2-0, which you can see on your Singer Domingo's Portside-sponsored Realty scoreboard.
No longer operated by Asher Foushée, though.
Sadly not. Asher still operating at a high level, even without the scoreboard. Now as rules analyst, given the hockey player that he once was.
Shots on goal tied at 15 right now. Flynn will fall as well. as a beacon. I believe that was Chang.
If you do see Asher, give him your condolences. He was taken out years ago from his hockey career by a vicious ACL injury that has kept him out of hockey, I guess, indefinitely. He's still not made his return to the ice, but in his time, he was
Chang
a
with
monster.
speed, a 2-on-1 for the Beacons. Could not center it, though. Yes, very sad. Everyone, make sure you give your condolences to Asher. We have a delayed penalty. I believe that's going to be a hold. A hold on, waiting to see. I think it is on Ledwick, maybe? That's what it looks like. And Ledwick, is she going towards the bench or towards the box? Can't tell still. And it will be the box. Carter Copeland will open the door, and the Dragons will go back on the penalty kill. Second penalty here is for Ledwick.
And that's a big door open from Carter Copeland there. That's a harder job than you'd think.
That is Solvay's first penalty of the season. Turner could not keep it in the zone. Dragons penalty kill, don't want to jinx them, but they're still perfect. 14 for 14 penalties they've killed this season, which is pretty remarkable, guys.
It is. We mentioned this earlier, or I did at least. Yeah, that's 28 minutes of 4-on-5 ice that they've had to play, and they have defended excellently every time.
Pretty crazy to think about. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in our third period. Parham will knock it into the offensive zone. We have Brunswick Freeport boys ice hockey captain Avery Sampson here. Avery, great win last night. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, thank you, Robbie. It's been a lot of work during preseason, a lot of early morning practices, and there's been a lot of bag skating. I think the boys have really come together over that. You can tell the chemistry is definitely up after preseason, and getting this big first win is definitely good.
Ooh.
Looking into a Class A matchup against Marshwood later this week.
Big hit there by Countway on Turner. Yeah, that'll be our next game on BHSN on Tuesday. Do you know what time it is?
I believe it's at 6 again, 6
Okay.
or 7, something like that.
6 o'clock on BHSN on Tuesday. Brunswick Freeport will play against Marshwood. I believe Marshwood's combined with Noble, the two Berwick teams. I believe they're called the Nighthawks. That's their fun little co-op name, being the Noble, or the Marshwood Hawks and the Noble Knights. Nighthawks, it's kind of cool.
That's super cool, Robert. You don't see cool names like that all that often anymore, I feel.
Yeah, Wickport's kind of cool for Brunswick Freeport boys ice hockey, but, got to get nice and creative. We'll have another delayed penalty, and here's a hit after the play. Dragons faithful did not like that. It was McCormick knocked down from behind by Furt, and let it go open the door for McCormick. Yeah, it was a penalty on McCormick, but I think there's going to be a matching penalty there on Furt for the hit after the play. So, 18 seconds remaining in the power play for Portland. But it is still a penalty on McCormick. I'm not quite sure how they're going to figure out the timing. It didn't look like that much of an egregious hit, but any hit from behind after the play should still be a pretty decent penalty. I don't think it'll be any sort of misconduct. It wasn't that crazy. Maybe just a roughing. I don't know. We'll see how the official sorts it out.
There is only 3 minutes and 38 seconds left in the game as well. So no matter what it is, it won't have the true impact of a long penalty just because there's not enough time for the long penalty.
Yeah. We'll get a replay of the play here. You guys, of course, can also reset your stream. So it appears to be McCormick. When does the penalty happen for McCormick? I cannot quite tell. I think it was a trip. It was a trip on McCormick, and then after the play, she gets just bumped from behind. Not even really a shove. She just kind of skates backwards into Furt and just knocks her down. Okay, it'll be a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Michaela Furt, and that'll match it off with the tripping, so we'll stay 5-on-4 for the next 18 seconds in favor of Portland.
That would be a 15-yard penalty in the NFL.
Thank you.
And we're not in the NFL, so it is not a 15-yard penalty.
So still power play, and a chance here the other way. Countway, a short-handed breakaway. Countway will take out the goalie and the net after fanning on the shot. Oh my goodness. That is Turner pleading with the official for some sort of call on Countway, as she did slide right into Clark and take the goal off its pegs. That's the first time that we've seen the net on the right side of that rink. And it's going to be a penalty on Turner. Okay, if that is a trip, that should be a penalty shot for Countway being on a breakaway going into the zone. I had Coach Hagman explain to me one time all the criteria for a penalty shot, and I might have forgotten all of them. But if it is a trip, that should be a penalty shot on Countway, I believe. But it's not. So there's some huge criteria for what constitutes a penalty shot. I thought that would do it, a trip on a breakaway, but I guess there's other criteria we're not considering here. I think that should be a penalty shot. Maybe we got to change the rule there. Penalty shot's, of course, a very exciting play in hockey, very high percentage scoring chance. But maybe there's some other criteria that I'm not thinking of here.
Yeah, I don't know what else it would be. I mean, I feel like a one-on-one with the keeper and getting your skates flashed out from behind. I don't know how it could be. I don't know what else I would constitute it to be a penalty. I mean,
well, still will be 4-on-4 for the next 2 seconds, and now the Dragons will go on the power play. They are now 15 for 15 on the season on the penalty kill. Here is Parham into the neutral zone, 3 minutes remaining. McCormick stays in the box, but because there are 2 penalties as well for Portland, it's a power play for the next minute and 29 seconds. There are 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in this game.
so just to clarify everything here, there are 2 players in the box for Portland and 1 for the Dragons, but since 2 of those offset, it's only listed as 1 for the Beacons.
You got it, Kaz. Minute and 20 seconds remaining in that power play. Really been a great performance by the Dragons today. And that is going to be a penalty on Jillian Countway for interference. Wow, so Countway will record her 4th penalty. And now there are going to be 4 total players in the box at the moment, 2 for each team. And we'll go back to 4-on-4. How about that?
I mean, that's something, Robert. This is getting chippy at the end here, I think.
Yeah. The first 20 minutes of the game, we had 0 penalties, and now we're up to 8, 4 by each team. Almost all of them coming here in the 3rd period. So that's fascinating. Now we have McCormick, Countway, Turner, and Furt all in the box. Popular place to be. 4-on-4 for the next minute and 9 seconds. Then we'll have a minute of Portland's power play. And then there should be about a minute left in the game at that point.
I think we're definitely starting to see some more frustration out of this Portland team, who has struggled this game and hasn't really got a lot going. And now they're able to kind of take that out on the hockey rink.
Oh, Parham and Savreda collide, and it's a 2-on-1 for the Beacons. Hackett will be stopped by Ledwick. Great defensive play to shut down that 2-on-1 rush.
Dragons looking to defend this and hold off for the next minute and 55 seconds to round out this game and hold down the shutout.
Here's a shot, save Labonte. Rebound, that'll also be stopped. And it looks like the Beacons are pulling their goalie. Yeah, Clark skating towards the box, so we're still 4-on-4, so now it becomes a 5-on-4 with the extra skater for the Beacons. Empty net. We'll see if they try an Ethan Patterson style full court shot on the empty net. Furt will settle along the wing. Once again, she is the leading goal scorer for the Beacons. Flynn skating for it. as Turner will release. Now it's a 6-on-4. McCormick also releases, so now back to the 5-on-4 with still Countway and, well, now Furt comes out of the box. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be a 6-on-4 right now with the empty net, guys. Power play plus the extra skater.
That's right. And this is a time where the Dragons got to be careful as well. They really cannot afford to put another player down on penalty. So they need to be smart about their defense here. No hard hits, no slashing, no interference, nothing. Just finish the game. Minute and 12 to go, just end it.
Yeah, we know they're 15 for 15 this season on the penalty kill. So it'll be a center ice face-off following a hand pass, I believe, or something else. But yeah, 6-on-4 for the next 30 seconds. Then it'll be a 6-on-5. Beacons in desperation mode, down by 2 here with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. Up ice here with numbers is Hackett. Hackett centering pass. Field could not settle it. 55 seconds to go. That backhand attempt by Werner would hit the outside of the net, down to 40 seconds. Down the middle, Countway will release, and we're back to 6-on-5 play with the empty net. Countway's open. That puck rolling just wide left, but I thought it was broken up. I guess not, so it will be an ice. Solveig speaking with her father, I guess, asking him to not argue with the officials.
That sounds about right. I think that.
Okay, I think I know what's happening here. I think the officials realized that it should not have been an icing, as I said. By the way, what I said. So they're making it a center ice face-off as saying, hey, sorry, shouldn't have been an icing. Here's a rocket by Ledwick. It's stopped by Price. So good to see the officials atone for their sin there with the center ice face-off. 20 seconds to go.
That's very well put, Robert. That's very well put. Spoken like a true intellect.
Ledwick looking for the full court shot. It is once again stopped by Price. Down to 10 seconds left, and I think, as we can call it, the Brunswick Dragons will advance to 3-2 on the season with a 2-0 win over the Portland Beacons. Goals by Countway and Sidney Parham on the power play. And the Dragons' penalty kill advances to 16 of 16 on the season. That is amazing.
Yeah, that's an impressive stat line, and big congratulations to the Dragons tonight, improving to 3-2. Or I guess this afternoon, improving to 3-2 now with a winning record. Big stuff.
Yeah, it was a great game.
We'll see you guys in a couple days next week.
Yes, on Tuesday, that'll be our next stream. Next stream between the Brunswick Freeport Boys Ice Hockey Dragons and the Marshwood Noble Nighthawks. That'll be a Just Kaz production. I will be playing some box lacrosse, so Kaz will be on the call for that game. I'm sure you'll do a great job.
See you guys there.
Well,
very excited.
Yeah, let's give our 3 stars. I shall go first. I'm going to give it to the netminder for the Dragons. Hensley Labonte had a shutout and 20 saves.
I'm going to go ahead and give my sole star to Jillian Countway, who scored a goal early and then fought hard for the rest of the game.
Who awards our 3rd star? Is it Asher? Are we going to let him do it? Asher, do you want to award a 3rd star?
Asher a 3rd star. Star player. Just throw out a name.
Natalie Parham.
Reasoning? Anything?
Solid performance today. Control the game really well. Yeah.
All right, those are your 3 stars: Countway, Levante, and Parham. Thank you for joining us here on BHSN. Dragons win 2-0. Brandon Ware on the camera, Cass Kosinski, and Robert Bowen on the call, and Asher Foushée, at least for the first 2 periods, on the scoreboard.